Okay, now we have zone 9 and 10. Zone 9 is going to be basically the forehead. You don't have to cover the whole thing, but you're basically looking around and feeling for areas that are lumpy and bumpy. You can also get areas that you've already worked, like I'm getting 0.34 again here, because I knew that that was bumpy. 0.26 I felt. This actually is moving really easily right now, so I'm going to move on. This whole area above the brow has to do with the liver and the gallbladder. So I can feel in there if there's any areas, and this is just on the right hand side. On the left hand side, it's going to be more the stomach and the spleen. Just kind of searching around in there. This area here is really nice because you can do it for as long as you want or for as little as you want. So a lot of times if you're in a time crunch, you might kind of cruise through this area a little bit faster. Or if you have extra time, you can do a little bit longer on it. The forehead is really nice because it's a direct connection to the brain, and every organ and every body part is represented on the forehead as well. So he's got a little bump here, so I'm circling that. I can also just hold the detector right over that for a few seconds. And just feeling other areas. Tiny bits of discoloration in here, so I can work around there. You can feel some stuckness in that area. Always like to do the kidney points a second time because those are just so important for your overall nervous system health. Your kidneys nourish your brain and spinal cord, have to do with your energy, your blood pressure. And then of course, always coming in and getting the shoulder areas is really helpful. Okay, making sure I'm getting the other side. 34 over there. And again, it feels like it's flowing a lot better than it did the first time I did it. So I'm just kind of doing a little searching in here, feeling any other lumps and bumps. I can get this center area again with 0.103 for the mind, 106 for the third eye and the pineal gland. Making sure I get that kidney spot again. I always want to make sure I work the kidneys at least twice in a session, just because they're such an important organ. And they do so much that we don't even realize. When we get to the first section, we're going to talk a lot about the kidneys and what they do. And over here, getting 0.124 again. This area above the brow here is going to have more to do with the stomach and the spleen. And we'll cover all of this in the class, so you don't feel like you have to know this. We're going to go into it pretty deeply. Okay, and whenever that feels complete, I can move into zone 10, which is our last zone. This is going to be working the entire lymphatic drainage protocol. So with this one, I'm going to start with a detector. I'm going to start with just the side here, and I'm going to work this area between the nose and the brow, and this is accessing the lymphatics of the armpits. So we're going to work the areas that have a lot of lymphatic lymph nodes in the same area. So the armpits are an area that has a lot of lymphatic tissue. And I want to do this about 15 times. I did not start counting, so I'm just going to guesstimate. And I want to use the same pressure up and down. If you're using more pressure up or more pressure down, that can affect the blood pressure. Moving to the other side, same thing. Using the side of the magic wand. Okay, now going up and down the nose, this is accessing the lymphatics of the chest and abdomen. Notice that as we're working this area, we're getting 0.189, which has to do with the diaphragm. The diaphragm is very important in lymphatic drainage, as is 0.1, which has to do with enhancing and making sure the blood has plenty of nutrients and minerals. Next, we're going to do the around the flare of the nose here. This is accessing the lymphatics of the groin. I'm using the tip of the magic wand again instead of the side of it. Here I can either come up and around that flare of the nose here, but a lot of times I like doing 61, so coming up the side of the front of the nasal bone because that opens up the nasal passageways. Also increases endorphins, that nice blissful feeling that this treatment provides. Okay, other side. This one can be a little bit tender on people, so if it is, you can lighten up on it. People tend to have a lot of lymphatic buildup around their groin area. You can hear my dog outside the door, finding a place to rest, wishing he was inside. And the next move is going to be up and down the smile lines. So I like to hold here, and here you want to come all the way down to the corner of the mouth. That is accessing the lymphatics of the upper leg and all the way down to the knee. So remember that the outside portion of the mouth has to do with the lymphatics behind the knee. And here we're getting point 38, which accesses the immune system. It's great for lubricating the bowels and joints as well. And we get the other side. And now we're going to get across the upper chin. This is accessing point 127, which has to do with the small intestine. That point actually heats up the body, will improve the immune system. It's good. It's a point that helps you make decisions as well. Okay. Turn the head to the side. For this one, we're going to work all the way around the ears. So we're going to do point 16. Point 0 is here, point 14 there for the throat and thyroid. And then behind the ear, we have point 15, and we're just circling the ears. So 16 is for the eyes and the shoulders, but it's also a jaw muscle attachment point. So we come down here, point 0 is going to be right in front of where the inside of the ear opens up onto the face. This is a regulating point. It helps to regulate your blood pressure, your digestion, everything in your body. And then as we move down in this area, we have the throat and the thyroid. And I like to cover a little bit bigger area in here. Coming behind the ears, you can work in there. This is another jaw muscle attachment point, as is point 14. So if you have a lot of jaw tension, and then I just come in and do circles around the ears. Again, we're going to want to do about 15 of those. This area in front of the ear is a lymphatic drainage area, so you want to make sure that's nice and open so you can drain any excess inflammation or puffiness that you have in your face. Really a good area for sculpting and also just providing extra symmetry to the face, particularly when you're doing regular treatments. And I did not keep track of how many I've done, so I'm going to guess that we're getting close to 15 here. I might be wrong. But then we're going to move to the other side and finish up. Now you will get some clients who are wearing hearing aids. If they are, you can just work this front side of the ear going up and down like that. Or I like to have my clients take their hearing aids out to work the entire ear because it will help them with possibly even with hearing or tinnitus or whatever issues that they're having with their ears as well. The ears are shaped like the kidneys, so they have a lot of the same energy as the kidneys, and as we work around it, we're freeing up more of that nice kidney energy for regulating the blood pressure, filtering the blood, regulating your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, providing energy. And again, I didn't start counting here, so I'm just going to guesstimate as to where we are with the ear circles. And what I'd like to do is just finish up by doing a little pulling on the ears. Again, the ears are shaped like the kidneys, so they have the same energy. As you're working on pulling, massaging the ears, that's also working on that kidney energy. And then if you want to, or you have time, you can do just a little bit of a scalp massage. Usually we'll just do a couple minutes of that, just depending on how much time I have. And you can end the treatment, wake your client up, and send them on their way.